Lord, please show a nigga a sign that I'ma shine. So all of this grind's not wasting my time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Lord, please show a nigga a sign that I'ma shine. So all of this grind's not wasting my time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Infinite mind that travel for centuries, indivisibly. The time travel through different galaxies, other densities. Writing on the wall, never say you wasn't born. Now open up your eyes like a baby being born. Take a deep breath with each step. This is a recess to redress the deep stress and then release death. Got the king of hood X flowing through my veins. You see my ice, you see my chain, you bitches know my name. A black man with a wonderful plan, with his son in his hand and a gun in his pants. Got a melanated mind, I'm the medicine man. Spitting Asiatic bars like I come from Japan. Time travel out of space, this is not a sedan or a Porsche. Google Earth ain't seen the subconscious of a king living all of his dreams. He said I'm the king of cool like Stephen McQueen, while I'm swimming in the walls of a beautiful queen. But anything and everything is never what it seems. My heart broke and now I turned into a machine. Please God, forgive me for my sins. If a nigga did it once, he gon' do the shit again. I'm smoking on a blunt and I'm sipping on this gin, and I let my soul bleed through my fingers on the pen. Come and get me. Lord, please show a nigga a sign that I'ma shine. So all of this grind's not wasting my time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Lord, please show a nigga a sign that I'ma shine. So all of this grind's not wasting my time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Lord, please show a nigga a sign that I'ma shine. So all of this grind's not wasting my time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Infinite mind that travel for centuries, indivisibly. The time travel through different galaxies, other densities. Writing on the wall, never say you wasn't born. Now open up your eyes like a baby being born. Take a deep breath with each step. This is a recess to redress the deep stress and then release death. Got the king of hood X flowing through my veins. You see my ice, you see my chain, you bitches know my name. A black man with a wonderful plan, with his son in his hand and a gun in his pants. Got a melanated mind, I'm the medicine man. Spitting Asiatic bars like I come from Japan. Time travel out of space, this is not a sedan or a Porsche. It's a torch, feel a force in my hand. Watch the kingdom expand. Google Earth ain't seen the subconscious of a king living all of his dreams. He said I'm the king of cool like Stephen McQueen, while I'm swimming in the walls of a beautiful queen. But anything and everything is never what it seems. My heart broke and now I turned into a machine. Please God, forgive me for my sins. If a nigga did it once, he gon' do the shit again. I'm smoking on a blunt and I'm sipping on this gin, and I let my soul bleed through my fingers on the pen. Come and get me. Lord, please show a nigga a sign that I'ma shine. So all of this grind's not wasting my time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Alright, what up? That's enough of that shit. Just the fuck off. Off, nigga. Off. What up, peoples? Alright, so, fucking around. I don't know what it says on your screen, but the name of this video is not astrology, it's bullshit. It's just, I tried to change the shit from yesterday, but fucking YouTube fucked it up, so I'm probably gonna have to go in there and change the name of the title of this shit right after I'm done, you know what I'm saying? But, name of this title is not astrology, it's bullshit. The name of this video is actually called Who Heals the Healers. You know what I'm saying? It's actually about a break. And what up, shout out, Max, shout out, what the fuck is going on, man? Shout out Max Million, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So I do say heals. Alright. Because on mine it says astrology is bullshit. But okay. So that makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, shout out Max Million, man. Yeah, I did see Venom. I might drop a video on that whole shit. That was a good movie. Could have been better. You know what I'm saying? It was a really good movie. It was entertaining. I said my kids to see it, you know what I'm saying? But, it was a lot of shit that was wrong with this shit. You know what I'm saying? But, as far as symbols and the things, there was a lot of, key characteristic traits that you hear me talk about on this channel. We talk about Aquarius hero traits, and that he had drinking. He was drinking all through the movie. I don't know if you saw that. drinking beer. You know what I'm saying? It's typically not traditional hero traits. She was basically had like bipolar type issues. He was hearing voices and all this stuff was normal. And then, it's taking you into kind of a bipolar world where he was, to experience something nobody else to see and it was normal, so like they kind of take you into that world. But yeah, that's a whole another topic for. Yeah, I did see Venom. I loved um Tom Hardy performance. I thought he did great. Um, I think it was a lot of it could have had a better script. The story could have been a lot more complex, even though it was complex in a certain way, but like it was just kind of like just Sony Marvel. And then like the advancements that they've made in superhero movies in the past couple of years, they just got the movies just really, really complex. Like Venom, it was complex, but it just wasn't complex enough. And then like the whole aspect of a rocket flying into space to blow up stuff and all, it's like, man, okay, this stuff has been done since the 50s. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like what they had in like Spider-Man Homecoming, it was just like a heist, you know what I'm saying? And Spider-Man was like literally trying to stop a heist. So it's more in reality type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Sony, they kind of old school and they're like they still doing these whole, you know, big rocket ship at the end with the CGI graphic fight scene, and and they trying to fly to space and a big last second explosion with him falling in the water and all that. It's like that shit is fucking so fucking 90s. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a little bit more 2000, but it was a good movie though. You know what I'm saying? I loved a lot of the stuff that they did. But onto this video. You know what I'm saying? This video, I don't really got a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I wanted to just talk about some things, man, that really bother me dealing with. I did a video yesterday called "Astrology is Bullshit." You know what I'm saying? Just dealing with um, a lot of frustrations I be having. Just like I said, dealing with astrology in real time, and just keeping in the theme of that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to talk about just because I really been having I had this breakthrough a long time ago. I just never really put this content out. You know what I'm saying? But like, this is not a new breakthrough for me. But you know what I'm saying? A long time ago, I had a breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really trying to go, like, it's Libra season, so I'm going back into the essence of things and really trying to reevaluate why I do the things why I do, and weighing out my own way of how I look at things. And I had to go back to my breakthrough. And what and before I even go into the breakthrough, I want to just realize that like I came to a breakthrough when I had hit rock bottom. And I'm not in rock bottom in no situation like that. It's just that I'm just, Aquarius, even like you see this a lot of time in Geminis and you meet Libras too. Like we kind of, the sword is double sided. And then like, just like I'm an astrologist, I'll turn around and say, man, fuck astrology. Like just as soon as I, embrace one thing, we kind of turn around and say, man, fuck that shit. But it don't be like all the way fuck that shit. It just be the principle. And then like, air signs kind of live in a world called what Poe he called the land of two truths. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, it's literally that. It's two truths. You know what I'm saying? You can, but it just depends on what your intent, how you see it, and what you say. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of times, like I said, two sides to every story. In a lot of situations, it's two truths for everything. So just as much as you think certain things is real, it's just as fucking not real. So I've been in the spirit of that. I've been just evaluating just a lot of the things that make people become spiritualists, become healers, become people who do astrology and comedics, Kabbalah, and all of these things that's normal nowadays. 20, 30 years ago, people thought it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But now it's fucking normal. But like, why people do these type of things? And I really had to go to the root core of like, even why people do comedy, why people even do religion, and that like, um, a lot of this shit stems from pain. You know, astrology has a card. I mean, not astrology. Tarot has a card in it called the two. What is it? Two. Was it three? Three of swords. Three of swords. You know what I'm saying? Three of swords is a wild ass card, and that it's like the pain that's in your heart that you don't really that you know is there, but you really don't acknowledge it's there. But it be literally like the shit that forces you to go do all this shit that you do. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of heroes stories like Bambi, mom got killed. That shit that started the whole shit. That's like three of swords. Like when you see Doctor Strange, like Doctor Strange is a surgeon, fucked his hands up. and he had to go all the way to fucking overseas to try to fix the shit. And when he fucked his hands up, like that was like the Three of Swords. It's like the heartbreak. It's the it's like the reason this whole shit kicked off. So a lot of astrologers, a lot of healers, a lot of us have something like this in our life that it was like the root cause of what led to all of this shit. Or like we started seeing patterns and things that was bothering us, or we found out some shit that just bothered us and we was not just able to get past it. And it just literally like spun your whole paradigm into a reality of where you at now studying astrology, spirituality, and stuff like that. But like a lot of times you gotta go back, like I say, Doc Brown, you gotta go back to the future sometimes and go into the mind that you had before you was even studying this shit and ask yourself, man, why the fuck did I even start studying astrology? Why the fuck did I start? Like I was going to church, I was listening to my dad, I was listening to my parents and all this shit, and all of a sudden I just started saying, man, fuck all that shit. Like y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, and I just went my whole other way. And now here you are watching this video, you know what I'm saying, thinking that you right. You know what I'm saying? But like somewhere in the back of your mind, you forgot how this shit even started. And now here you are. So like me, I'm like kind of like Doc Brown. You know, I take you all the way back to like, okay, like how the fuck did we get here? Like let's go back to the beginning of that thought. And that there was some pain. 9 times out of 10 it'd be pain. Like I remember I watched my father. My father had cancer. You know what I'm saying? I remember watching him. This is the biggest, most strongest man I've ever seen in my life. This wasn't the start of my astrology, but like this is when shit had got real. This is when I had my first major breakthroughs. It was like watching my father die of cancer. You know what I'm saying? And like there's some shit like, you know, I sit there and talk about it now, but like the deeper I go into that thought, I'll be sitting there fucking crying my eyes out. You know what I'm saying? Because this is like the deep subconscious, like the root, the core essence of that thought. Fucking will shake anybody to their core, like the thought of their father or mother dying. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of this shit be that Three of Swords in it. It's like, okay, this is the shit that, like Poe saying in comedics, you know, in Asar, law number 1 in Asar, they say it's Asar. It's like Neo. It's like somebody gotta die. Somebody gotta fucking die in order to make all this shit real. If not, I'm just sitting there running my fucking mouth. But trust and believe, somebody died is gonna make this shit that I'm saying 10 times more potent than if everything was fucking cool. You see what I'm saying? And mind you, I'm talking like die. Somebody fucking die. So in that same essence, that pain that come with that shit, that's some shit you ain't like you start doing all type of shit just to cover that shit up, but it's still fucking there. You know what I'm saying? So like, who the fuck really understands that shit? You gotta understand that shit. You know, you try to cover this shit up with astrology, you cover it up with fucking comedics and symbols and all this shit, and you know what I'm saying? I know fucking hella people. I talk to astrologers all the time. They fucking sick as fuck. They got neck pain, back pain, fucking IBS, stomach pain, bloating. You know what I'm saying? All this shit. Like this shit that they'll never tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like astrologers, they you know, they'll never tell you that they fucking, you know, get migraines and they can't fucking sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? It's like just as much you get all that clairvoyant shit come in, and then like you talk, do all this communication, and then you go lay down in your bed at night and it's time for you to go to sleep, and all you can hear is woo, because your mind is like literally racing, and it's like you're literally like traveling in space, like astral planing in space, and then like it's sending like pains, it's the shit starts sending pains and shit down your nerves and shit like that. Like people will never tell you this shit, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to spirituality. They'll tell you, oh, it's so great, and it's just like, motherfucker, don't think I don't know that you got back pain and your fucking stomach hurt, and you fucking, when you take a shit, it looks like fucking snot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, that IBS and all this shit. They be fucking trying to find vitamins. Like, motherfuckers stay up all night trying to find vitamins and on Amazon and fucking Walmart buying vitamins, whole cabinet full of vitamins and shit, trying to, you know, vitamin D and all this shit, trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, when you line yourself up in that pain like that, like, you know, and they have a concept called the pain body. You realize you don't even have to line yourself up to it. Like, the pain body, they research this shit called the pain body. It's some shit that's there, whether it's just like using a bathroom, or it's just like crying. It's just some shit that's there. Like, you got literally a body of pain. It's like all of this shit that you go through, like, literally gets like put into one corner somewhere in your body. It's called the pain body, and you just, your mind just kind of naturally acts like it's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of women who go through like rape and shit like this, or like real hard like physical abuse, they got this shit bad. Like, women are really like, especially if women have like menstrual cycles, like that blood literally, all that negative energy, they little shit literally got to come out of you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of the reason why like women live longer than men. You know what I'm saying? Because like men, when they go through emotional trauma and shit like that, like the pain body is real good at literally like acting like it's not there, to the point where like motherfucker be in stage 4 cancer, and then they only realize they had cancer until they in stage 4 type shit. This is like black men. That's why a lot of black men, I'm fucking totally rambling this whole shit. This is totally fucking discombobulated. But a lot of black, side note, a lot of black men die of cancer not because it's more aggressive than a white man. You know what I'm saying? It's just that like a lot of black men don't find out until it's like stage 3 or stage 4 because like the pain body is so good at just covering it up and like and making you think it's not there. So motherfuckers eat sugar and they smoking and drinking. And it's like all this fucking nervous ass energy. You know what I'm saying? And like you don't realize like it's literally the pain body like feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not like sitting down breathing and getting your body into that tone where it's like, okay, I'm tweaking. There's some real pain here that's not being dealt with. So in mind you, like astrology is real good at helping you identify the patterns of what's there, but astrology, comedics, none of that shit deals with actual healing. You know what I'm saying? And then like it'll give you awareness. You know what I'm saying? But like even chakras, when you study chakras and like the lower chakras and the higher chakras and understand what they do, you can do all type of meditations, but that shit won't necessarily heal you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you really get to the concrete. As the chakras are really, even though they're concrete to you, they're still abstract. It's still an abstract fucking thought. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand it. So you're using somebody else's map to really gauge your body. So you really have to get into your own map. And even like these are really good guides, but at some point you have to go what's called a breakthrough. That's the purpose of the video. I'm gonna tell you something at the end of this video. The real purpose of this whole video I'm saving for. But like the purpose of this video is to cause you the breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna snap my fingers like this a couple of times. I'm making certain points just to because we get into a point it's called a breakthrough. What's the real purpose of this shit? When you get locked into this world, you know what I'm saying? Especially you say, oh my god, I don't even want to start talking about this like medication, like kids who they say ADHD, they give them fucking Ritalin and all that type of shit. And you know, first we were talking ADHD, then switch over to bipolar. You know what I'm saying? So the whole med switch from Ritalin over to I don't know what the fuck they get bipolar people. I think it's called Adderall. I don't know what the fuck they get, but like it was a marketing medication switch. So like less less and less start getting diagnosed with ADHD and start getting diagnosed with bipolar, and then which got switched into some other shit. You know what I'm saying? But later on, like when they get into their 20s and 30s and shit, they find out like they are fucking super spiritual and super enlightened and super like none of that shit that they was diagnosed with was a kid. They found out it was all bullshit and like you know what I'm saying? The kids be mad at the parents for kind of walking them down this path of um, you know, medications and doctor visits and all this type of shit. And it'd be like, man, like, you know, they got the concept called indigo children. I don't know if you've heard of this. Some people, this term that they throw on shit now. You know what I'm saying? Indigo kids is like, so a lot of these kids is being diagnosed with this shit are quote unquote indigo kids who later on in life fall into astrology and spirituality and chakras and all that shit. But like even me, I can still see that shit as a fucking like a funnel within itself. And then like them chakras, that shit, that astrology shit, that shit is still not that's only gonna take you so far. And then like there's still not when you get into the essence of real mental illness and like the issues that people be dealing with and you walk people through astrology and symbols and all that shit, it still don't get to the core essence of like the real shit and it's necessary to heal people. You gotta have a breakthrough. You gotta have a real fucking breakthrough, like an all the way breakthrough. You gotta be able to take all of that shit and sum that shit all up into one thought and break through that whole thought. You cannot treat all of this shit as separated thoughts. You have to treat all of these thoughts literally as one thought and then break that thought. You know what I'm saying? Concept called Nine of Swords in Tarot. Nine of Swords is like literally one of the worst cards in the fucking deck. This is one of my cards that I get all of the fucking time because it's like literally somebody sitting on the edge of their bed holding their head like this, and they're like they cannot sleep. It's like insomnia. You know what I'm saying? There's swords going through their third eye, through their throat, and I think through their mouth or something like it's not literally going through, but they're on the wall behind them, so it appears like they're going through, parts of his communication process. So like there's a failure of communication. The failure of communication. If somebody said the wrong shit, somebody thought the wrong shit, or somebody's not able to say what's needed to be said. So there's a failure of and he's like literally holding his head like this, and he's like, shit, like I can't think, I can't sleep, I can't function right. You know what I'm saying? This shit astrologers and healers will never tell you that they go through because they're so busy trying to heal people that, all of that healing that they doing is just covering, piling up on, uh, on top of the real issue. You know what I'm saying? And like, in order to really go back into you, like I say, people forget why you even started studying this shit. You know what I'm saying? Really, you got to go back to remember that thought. You got to unpile all of that healing that you did and really like, man, hold on, you wasn't But I understand you was doing this for other people, but you was really doing this shit for you. When you cut to the K-Blao essence of this shit, like motherfucker, you was doing this shit for you. Something happened to you, you was doing all this shit for you. You know what I'm saying? And you're not really dealing with the real issue of what the fuck you got going on. And you're talking about other people's strengths and weaknesses and using all this shit as a gauge really for yourself. But what the fuck is the real essence of what the fuck you got going on? You know what I'm saying? Who heals the healers? You know what I'm saying? Where's the real breakthrough? So uh, I gauged this thought. I kept gauging this thought. Okay, mind you, I've had this thought hella times. I just never put this content out. You know what I'm saying? I've been down this chamber fucking hella times. You know what I'm saying? So uh, there's a reason a lot of healers don't use Tylenol and fucking over the counter drugs. They know not to use this shit because they've been down that pain road. And they're like, every fucking healer has their own way, like outside of like over the counter medicine. I'm like, oh, all you gotta do is take this and it's gonna heal you. Like, motherfucker, how do you know this shit? Because motherfucker, I've been in pain and I had to do this to like, in the middle of them telling you, all you gotta do is heal. It's like, motherfucker, how the fuck do you know this shit? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your pain. We get so used to throwing around the answer that we really don't focus on, man, how the fuck do you know that shit? You're like, shit, actually, actually, you know what I'm saying? Actually. So let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's not get caught there. Let's go past the day-to-day aspect. Like I talked to the eye doctor, I went to the eye doctor, you know what I'm saying, for my son and shit, you know what I'm saying? We had a mold issue. I had fucking my basement flooded, you know what I'm saying? I had mold in my fucking basement. I was literally like cleaning shit on my whole fucking basement, you know what I'm saying? I got sick as fuck. Another reason I wasn't putting out content. You know what I'm saying? I had to have this whole professional mold cleaning company come and clean my whole house. And mind you, like the season is changing, so it's a lot of more moisture in the air. And like I don't want to give y'all a whole lesson on mold. But if anybody saying shit, we talking about healing, mostly talking about mold in the house and shit like this, people know I'm hitting them direct red buttons of the shit that be fucking with people in their mind. And like me, like as a healer, knowing I got mold like growing in the basement, like that shit, I'm literally on my hands and knees, bleach, fucking literally doing everything. I cannot have one fucking ounce of mold in my house. I know just that one little particle, just that one little spore mold will disrupt my whole fucking consciousness into like a dinosaur's routine. I get sick, fucking immune system breakdown. That's literally what fucking happened. And my son kept rubbing his fucking eyes. You know what I'm saying? So of course we took him to the eye doctor and shit. He looked through and he said that it was basically his eyes were dry. Gave us what she said, everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? But I obviously took him to, I'm fucking obsessed, took him to a couple of different eye doctors. You know what I'm saying? Constantly staying up to date on that. They telling me everything cool. Got all the mold removed out, starting to see improvement. But in that, I asked the eye doctor, I said, man, so what number am I? I like to ask people shit like that. I like to see patterns. Like, what number am I today? And mind you, like, sometimes people ask me, like, what do you mean? What, honey? Like, that, this doctor, I could tell, like, he was like a fucking, like a Aquarius or a Gemini. He was like an air sign, a Gemini or a fucking Libra motherfucker. I was like, what number am I? He said 26. Quick as fuck. I was like, whoa, like he instantly knew. Like I was right there in the pattern of his day. A lot of times saying shit like when I go to the store, I ask the person who's ringing on my groceries. I was like, so are you closing tonight? They were like, yeah. They're like, oh shit. I'm like, fucking hang in there, man. Don't look at the clock. And I say literally the same shit every time I go check out. Don't look at the clock, man. It makes it go slow. They're like, oh yeah, I know that's right. Just trying to get in today. And today, I look kind of looking at them. Like if I was on the other side of the register ringing out, looking at me, I'd be like, man, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. So I kind of like to be that guy on the side of the thing. Closing tonight? Like, hell yeah, how the fuck do you know I was thinking? Yeah, hey, hang in there. Don't look at the clock, man. It's gonna make you go. What the fuck is this dude? I like to kind of troll motherfuckers like that. You know what I'm saying? So, in that same thought, I kind of asked the eye doctor. I was like, man, what number am I? He was like 26. I was like, shit. Like, he was right there. We was right there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, how many people you doing one day? He was like, yeah, about 40, 45. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this motherfucker literally looks at like 40, 45 eyeballs every fucking day for the past like 20 fucking years. And I was like, god damn, like when you think of that much healing, when you think of that many fucking eyeballs, like after a while, this motherfucker don't even remember why he's even wanted to be an eye doctor anymore. Like he's just literally in that shit. But like somewhere in the back of his mind, like some fucking experience probably happened to have him want to go start doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? We get lost in the you know what I'm saying, in the essence of what we're doing, and it's just routine, you know. So I try to put out the content. I try to be the back subconscious thought, the Hood thought, the K-Blao thought. Like, you know, we mediums. We're all mediums in this shit. In that, Or the word they throw around, they say like indigo children. Like I was saying, you know, they kind of use that word as like medium, like purple kids type shit. Like it's called medium, and that you know, stress affects us more, and we're more sensitive towards stress, and we can easily develop cancer. Motherfuckers be scared that they're gonna get cancer and shit like this, and a lot of healers will never tell you this shit that they got, you know, fear of catching cancer, fear of catching diabetes and shit like that because it's in their family and shit like that. So they literally doing everything, going vegan and fucking stop eating meat and, you know, drinking water and doing all this because motherfuckers is looking at pain, and it's like that, you know. But that perception come with a price. You know what I'm saying? A lot of vegans, motherfuckers be the most sickest people. Motherfuckers who take the vitamins be the sickest people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see this shit all the time. It's like, don't nobody ever talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is why you have to be in balance and be in tune with shit and be in the real essence of the truth of what the fuck is really going on with yourself. You gotta wake the fuck up. You gotta have a breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? You can be broken and not know that you broken. You can be fragmented and cracked and not know that you fragmented and cracked. You out here healing so many people. You around giving people answers. And, oh, he's cracked. Or fix him. He's cracked. Fix him. It's like, motherfucker, you cracked. Actually, who the fuck is healing you? You know what I'm saying? It's a border. It's a fine line between being a fucking depression and like a psychopath. You know what I'm saying? It's a very fine line between the shit. Like certain traits that psychopaths have. People with depression got the same shit. Like you come to a person with depression and say certain shit to them, then they respond, "You get the fuck up." It's like, well, how the fuck do you diagnose this as a motherfucking psychopath or a motherfucker as a somebody who's mentally sick? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then a lot of times it's like how the situation play out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had sent me some articles about the same thing. We were discussing the same thing, and then like they was like, oh well, a psychopath isn't uh, a bipolar person or, you know, somebody with mental illness, because a psychopath is the type of person who, like, when they walk in a room, you know, they're more focused on themselves versus like somebody who's depressed. They want to seem small. They don't even want to be noticed when they walk in a room. Shit like this, like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas like I see the fine line, I see the gray line in this shit all the time. And then like if somebody is depressed, like saying shit, depending on what fucking room they walk in, they walk into a fucking hospital, you know what I'm saying, and nobody's fucking paying them no mind. That's gonna be a huge issue with somebody fucking depression. Whereas like somebody who likes a lot of attention walking into a fucking hospital, they don't want to be seen going to a fucking hospital. So like it all fucking depends on the situation and how the fuck the shit play out. You see what I'm saying? But if you are somebody who is like depressed or maybe bipolar, got mental illness and shit like this, like you really got to start looking at your actions and actually engaging yourself and saying, okay, like there's a fine line between what I'm doing and a psychopath. So where is my actions leaning more toward the psychopath shit or like somebody who is literally, you know, with a problem? So in that essence, right there is where your breakthrough is. And then like you really gotta look at the purpose of the shit that you're doing and ask yourself, man, why the fuck am I tweaking? Why can't I just do this? Why am I tweaking? You know, you have to gauge yourself. You gotta know how to check yourself. You gotta know this shit. The essence of that thought right there is in the knowing that like you're not. This is gonna sound fucking crazy, but like some breakthrough shit. You're not you. You're not you. This is one of the most hardest things to see in life. It's like you're not you. You're a seed. It's like if you got a whole bunch of seeds in your hand, you threw that shit in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? And like they all sprouted up. You know, you don't really care if this seed had a little dirt on it, if that seed was cracked a little bit, or if that seed was like, fuck, it's like you don't care. Every seed gets its chance. It goes into the dirt and it fucking cracks the fuck open, and the whole fucking universe stems from that seed. My dog started barking right in the middle of me making this fucking point. Go lay down. Go lay down. Every seed has an opportunity to grow. Every seed, no matter what the seed looks like, it could be half a seed. The seed itself does not fucking matter. You could be a seed that don't have no arms, no legs. You can be a seed that don't speak. You can be a seed that don't even have no eyes. It don't fucking matter. What matters is the essence and the universe and the universe that's behind that seed. And we are all literally seeds. It don't matter what the seed look like. It don't matter if it's a big seed, small seed. It don't matter if it's half a seed. You know what I'm saying? This shit does not fucking matter. You gotta remember, this whole fucking universe that we sitting in, came from some shit that's smaller than a fucking grain of sand. It was like literally some shit that was invisible. It was like you picture a grain of sand, and then like something even smaller than it's like literally the smallest thing you can think of. This whole fucking universe squeezed through something that fucking big. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally just a breakthrough. It was like, and so you think of you as a person. If the whole universe came from some shit that's this fucking small, think of the universe that can come from you as you fucking 4, 5, 6 feet tall. You see what I'm saying? And then, like, if you just know how to map the sequence of your subconscious into the matrix that we live in, if you know how to properly line that shit up and gauge it, you will see why your shit is cracking. Like, if you sick, if you need healing, you got IBS, you stress and shit like that. It's like the real breakthrough there is like, it's literally like when Christ was on the cross and they were killing Christ, and it was like he got to the point where it didn't even fucking matter no more. And he was like, he was asking God to forgive the people that even put him up there. And it was like, man, it's like literally Pluto, breakthrough. Like, motherfucker was all the way gone. It's like the end of the end type shit. It's like, you don't even fucking, it's gone. He's literally just transcended his own life into a state of existence where it's like back in the 20s, in the early 1920s, and early, like, actually it was like the 1910s. You know what I'm saying? They used to call this shit the fourth world. I think it's called the fourth world. You know what I'm saying? Where like a lot of the people whose fourth world we living in now, like Walt Disney. Like, you go to Disney World, you see all of the Disney characters. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you ever seen a picture like Walt Disney standing there next to fucking Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Like, he's standing there next to his own character. Or like, you might see like, what's the guy's name? Matt Groening, the guy who makes The Simpsons, like standing next to the Simpsons characters. Or like George Lucas, who made Star Wars, standing with his arms around, you know, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, and all this. Like, he's standing there in his own universe, inside his own mind. Gene Roddenberry studied the same concept with Star Trek. Like, they had a whole universe. Like, Star Trek is this whole universe. They got phasers and fucking star beam me up and all this fucking make believe shit. But like, he can literally go inside this universe and literally practition himself into this own universe. This is what in the 20s they call this shit the fourth world. So this is the breakthrough. And then, like, when you studying astrology, when you're studying, you know, these types of things, spirituality, if you're not properly engaged in writing books or putting out the right type of content, or even engaging the subconscious the right way to get, it's like writers who write for writers type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like me. Like, this is a huge symbol in film. A lot of people don't know this about even in film. But like, when the main character is a writer, that's like covert hypnosis shit. And then, like, it's literally like a writer talking to you. This is like, a lot of people don't know this shit. It's also like comedics, similar to Tahuti, the writer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got people who make books, and you got people who make books for people who make books type shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what the purpose is like, the purpose of this video is a breakthrough for people like that. And say, like, you can be sick, you can have IBS, you can have cancer, you can have diabetes, you can have all this shit, and it do not fucking matter if you know how to just break fucking through. None of that shit fucking matters. Who heals the healers? We heal ourselves, because we understand that we are not healers per se. We are seeds placed into the subconscious, like it's a seed being placed in the dirt. And like, this whole shit we saying is like, we're the dirt, and we are seed planted in the dirt. That's the goal. That's the goal. We don't move up in this world. We move forward in this world. You're not moving up. You move forward. The place that we landed here, you're seed in the dirt growing. Look at the fruit on your tree. Look at the plant that's growing. Ask yourself, am I happy with this plant? Do I like this plant? Do I like the way this tree is growing? You know what I'm saying? If you don't, you know what I'm saying? You say, oh, why don't I like it? Oh, I ain't got no leg. Oh, I got cancer. Oh, I got diabetes. Oh, well, this just happens to be a seed that grows in that way. So the more you understand the type of dirt, the climate that you're in, you'll be able to give a better testimony of that dynamic that you're going through. You see what I'm saying? That's the dynamic. That's the lane that you was in. So I'm saying, a lot of times it takes a long time for people to reach Pluto. You know what I'm saying? They call Pluto. It's a breakthrough. You know, where they understand it's like, there's no escaping what you're going through. This is the reality that you're in. You're here to master this reality. You see what I'm saying? And like, once you master that reality, then you will begin to master other realities. You know what I'm saying? It's like a order to thing. There's no, escaping Pluto. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watch certain movies, they say the end at the end. Like, they don't really do this no more. But like, certain movies, you watching it at the end, actually the words "the end" will come up. Matter of fact, let me do that shit. Like, the words "end," the end come up on the screen. Well, that's Pluto. So, and it's like a symbol where it's like a breakthrough. So like I'm gonna give you the same symbol right here. I'm gonna show you this. It's like you've come to a point now in your life where it is no longer required for you to examine it from being sick or healthy or whatever that IBS you got going on or whatever them headaches and the migraines and the fact you can't sleep no more or you can't, you know what I'm saying, there's nobody to heal the healers. You don't need a healer anymore. You know what I'm saying? You've come to a point in the realization in your life where you are a seed planted into the subconscious of this universe, and you are here to spawn a universe into existence. All right? So that's your breakthrough. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to end this here, and I will see you on the other side.